Hey everybody, welcome to the Player Stake, episode 82. I'm your host, Justin D. Simone, joined by my two co-hosts, a League of Legends degenerate, Montrell Wright, and not a League of Legends degenerate, Tiara Atari.
Yes, it's always nice to not be a degenerate. You should aim to be like me, Montrell. Aim to be like me.
This is the moral of every episode. I feel like Montrell needs to be more like Tiara. That's the moral of every episode, folks.
Yes.
Well, I have an important thing to discuss here at the top of the show that I really want to get off my chest. So, I was at work today, right?
Yo.
And I needed to go to lunch. And I was thinking about where I wanted to go, and I was really feeling some Tex-Mex. So, I usually go to Chipotle for Tex-Mex, but for some reason, I haven't been to Freebirds in a while, and I decided to go to Freebirds for Tex-Mex. I show up, find out they don't sell ground beef at Freebirds anymore.
What?
Yeah, I found this out the hard way. I walked in there, and they don't have ground beef anymore.
Like,
they have Beyond Meat took its place.
Okay, so
yeah,
okay, so let's rewind this real quick. So
okay.
They don't serve. Like, it's not a mistake. It's not a COVID thing. Like, this is their policy now going forward.
I asked the guy, I was like, you guys not serve ground beef anymore? And he was like, no, we don't, sir. I'm sorry. And I was like, oh my God. So I was in a panic at this point because that's all I get at Freebirds. So I usually get ground beef nachos. And since ground beef was off the table, I hate most of the other meats they sell with nachos. I went with a burrito instead, and I got chicken in it. And, I made whatever concoction I came up with. And I got their guac, too. I hadn't tried their guac before. I decided to get chips and guac. And let me tell you, this is one of the worst meals I've had in fucking years. And Freebirds...
You're over-exaggerating so much.
No, I'm not. Freebirds is dead to me, Montrell. They're dead to me. Their decision not to sell ground beef, it's over. Their guac was shit. It tasted... there was way too much lime juice in this guac. It was horrible.
Well, maybe
I couldn't taste anything else.
Get out of Texas because that...
Count their fucking days, Justin.
Oh, count their fucking days, Tiara, because they are, and I don't say this lightly, they have become Burger King tier to me, and that is a death knell. They're done. They're done.
King is really low tier.
Yeah, they're done. They're done.
We talked about. Oh, see, Tiara, you haven't heard the off mic discussions of rankings of food. Maybe we'll do that on like a random episode. But yeah, we ranked Burger King as the worst, one of the worst burger joints.
Oh. They're the worst. They're the worst. Wow. They're like Subway. They're like Subway level. Like
that's crazy because I kind of like Subway.
Okay, Subway, frankly, is probably better than Burger King. I'm gonna be honest. Burger King is the lowest of the low. They're bottom of the barrel. Like, they're rock bottom.
This is how low I would go to Arby's before I go to Burger King.
I would too.
I would legitimately go to Arby's, bro. Before they held a gun to my head, was like, "Yo, choose now, Burger King or Arby's." No choice, Arby's, bro.
I'm gonna be honest. I would choose anything over Burger King, even foods I don't like. Like, that's how bad Burger King is. Like, it's just, I'd probably eat beans over going to Burger King.
I don't know if they changed their recipe on their burgers.
They did. They did a long time ago. It was like 10 years ago. It was bad. They turned into a horrible tasting McDonald's ripoff, and they suck. I hate it. But Freebirds is on that level now, okay? Because I had that burrito, and it was horrific.
Did you try the Beyond Meat?
No, I didn't.
I mean, we tried it, and we actually bought the stuff at the grocery store. It's okay, but you can definitely tell it's not ground beef. But I've had it okay. I've had it a couple times at other restaurants. I decided to try it, and it's definitely not meat. It has the texture and the consistency of meat, but it definitely has an aftertaste at the moment that is not meat. So, but it's not bad like people. So people are like, oh, this is fucking awful. I'm like, it's not that. It's not.
No, if they can fix that aftertaste and get it closer to that meat, I would eat it straight up.
Yeah, I would eat it. It would be a healthy alternative, but.
I'm actually surprised they're not that far off.
I do not want to eat fake meat. I like the real thing.
Your
thing tastes amazing.
I'm with you. Nothing can match the juiciness of a well-cooked steak, and I don't think they're ever going to be able to replicate that with fake meat.
Do you not know what I had 4 days in a row? I had goat korma.
Okay.
4 days in a row.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me tell you,
I can't believe they got rid of their fucking.
It's an amazing meat.
Right, Montrell.
And there is meat. There's no fake meat that could replicate how good goat tastes.
You're probably right. No, let's give it a couple hundred years.
Goat and lamb are literally the goat, like for real.
Like literally
the goat. Like I love goat and lamb. They're really fucking good.
Yeah. Well, dude, no, I love chicken. Like chicken's one of my favorite meats, and somehow I don't know why, but this chicken it had no flavor.
Well, we talked about chicken. Chicken is good in certain instances.
Yeah, you have to season it. I'm learning something about myself with chicken is that I love chicken kind of on its own, like just like a plain grilled chicken or like a fried chicken. Like I love that. But in Tex-Mex, it's a weird thing. Chicken in Tex-Mex needs to be seasoned very well for it to be good.
It has to be.
Otherwise, it just turns into a blah thing that I frankly would rather just eat like a veggie taco than having a certain chicken in tacos, like because it has no flavor. It's just
that's why. Like I know y'all probably gonna disagree with me, but that's why I really don't. Chipotle's chicken is good. It is good, and I'm not even gonna hold you up. But I prefer their steak. Like I can't really eat their chicken. Like if someone gave me a chicken burrito from them, I'll eat it. But
I tried it.
I only like the steak.
I'm a barbacoa guy with
okay,
Chipotle.
I can see that. I used to be a barbacoa person.
I don't eat pork, but I only like steak.
Okay.
Yeah. But barbacoa burritos, they hit.
I don't eat Chipotle anymore, honestly.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can understand. Their guac is just fucking king.
I mean, also, like all these fucking Chipotles had that E. coli outbreak.
The E. coli outbreak, yeah.
And I was good.
Yeah.
I was good. It was way too many Chipotles.
You know what's funny? When I was working there during like college, they were actually really super clean. A lot of the stuff, like now I know a lot of their stuff are it's like streamlined. But like we used to make a lot of this stuff from scratch. Like I don't know if they still do it, but we made the guacamole from scratch. We make the fucking little dressing for the salad. We used to make that from scratch. I was informed a couple of years ago they stopped making it from scratch. They get it shipped in now. But we used to make that from scratch as well. And we make a lot of this, like the chicken. I know they still do the chicken. Like we had to, it was regular chicken, like that you get at a grocery store or something like that, but obviously get in bulk. We put real adobo on it, salt, and we grill it.
Yeah.
And we do the same thing with the steak and the barbacoa. That did come prepackaged, but it was like they said like 60% like free farm or something like that, free range cows or something like that. And the carnitas was 100%. That came pre-prepared, but that was 100% free-ranged pigs, and it was like no antibiotics in there or anything like that. So
look, when they let Obama reach over the sneeze guard, I was done.
You don't even tolerate for the president of the United States. You're like, nah.
Is he not a human being that carries germs? He literally reached his dirty ass hands over the sneeze guard.
I can see Tiara being the manager there, like,
there was a
Mr. President, excuse me.
There was a photograph. Like, yes, if I was working at Chipotle, I would have said, "What are you doing?" I probably, hopefully I would not have said, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Awesome.
But
yeah.
Literally, I would have been like, "What are you doing?"
I'm gonna be honest. I was so flabbergasted at Freebirds today that the guy gave me a sample of the brisket, and he put it like they give me like a toothpick or whatever. And for some reason, I decided to try to hand him the toothpick back, and he was like, "What are you doing?" Like, I was like, "Oh, fuck, I'm sorry, I'm an idiot." But
Tiara,
the fact that they didn't have ground beef just completely threw me off.
Tiara, have you had Freebirds?
I have not.
Okay.
Probably not.
Yeah, they're not really up north.
Yeah, they're southern chain. They're making their way there, but
I don't think they're here.
I don't think they're gonna make it.
Their redeeming quality was the fucking ground beef. That was it.
It was.
But
oh my god! I'm glad I'm
the
only one who thought that.
I don't think that I'll try it now.
Yeah. No. The other meats just aren't good. Like they're not well seasoned. They're not. I don't know. The ground beef though was specifically like a thing they made that was really good, but I'm assuming people didn't buy it very much because they replaced it with fake meat. So, you know.
Oh my God. Like, that's like, have you ever heard of that other store called Qdoba?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that was like Qdoba. Yeah, Qdoba was really good for me.
I love Qdoba.
Oh my, they don't have any out here. It's so
really?
They don't.
It's a couple around here. I love Qdoba.
We had like one in Michigan by my college, and I love that Qdoba because it had ground beef. Like if I didn't want any other meat, I would go to Chipotle if I want other meat. But if I wanted ground beef, I would go to Qdoba.
I think Qdoba was. That's why I stopped really eating Chipotle because I started eating Qdoba.
Because Qdoba hits. I don't know
why. And on
people...
top of that, Qdoba was not charging for no guacamole. So
and they had the cheese before Qdoba.
And they had the queso before. And again, because that queso Diablo was flame.
Fire.
That queso Diablo was flame.
Oh man, this is great.
Actually, I may go get some queso Diablo tomorrow. Like,
okay, there you go. Look at that. You know, we're man. I've never had Qdoba. I didn't know what they were.
It's really, really good.
They had them in Boston, and I never had one. I never tried it, so I kind of regret it. But I think there's some around here. Like they're hidden, but I think there's at least
there's
like
one in the or there used to be one in the fucking airport, and I used to I used to love flying because I'm like, oh shit, but it gave me some fucking
Qdoba, baby. 8 in the morning, Qdoba.
And you know, it's a Qdoba at Reagan National Airport.
Yeah.
So when I fly out,
actually, I think I flew into Reagan National Airport. Nope, it was the other one. In Virginia.
No, not JFK. Sorry.
Dulles.
Yeah, it was Dulles. I didn't like Dulles.
Mm-hmm.
But I did like that little subway thing y'all got that connects to the it connects to it connects to the landing strip and it goes to the airport, the actual the terminals of the airport. It was really wild. I got lost for a minute, but it was all right.
All right, well.
This is a video game podcast.
I just wanted to make it clear. Fuck Freebirds. They can go suck a dick. I wanted to officially put that out there. You know, they've now got my stamp.
This is now an anti-Freebird
podcast. Exactly right. Anti-Freebirds. You know, I want to put that on the thumbnail for like one episode. You know, put like a Freebird symbol and put like an X through it or whatever.
I'm really glad you told me that because I was thinking about getting some tomorrow.
Bro, I was debating for 20 minutes between Chipotle and Freebirds, and I was like, I haven't been to Freebirds in like 3 months. I need to go. And I was like, and then I go there and there's no ground beef on the menu, and it's like, what the flying fuck is going on here? And yeah, it turned into the most disastrous meal I've had in years.
I feel like that should be the title of our podcast. Count your fucking days, Freebirds.
Yes. Your days are numbered.
Your days are numbered.
We should act them too. Count your fucking days.
Count your fucking days.
5 to 10 years from now, we're gonna be hearing the story of Freebirds going out of business because taking the ground beef off the menu was a huge miss. Huge miss.
When this podcast takes off, this is gonna be one of those episodes they ask from the fucking panel.
Yeah.
Did you guys really fucking hate Freebirds? Yes. Freebirds.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I'm glad Montrell had that reaction because I
mafia rules. Man. If one of us hates something, we all hate it.
Yeah. Right. We are in unison. That's one thing. We're in unison. So yeah, you know, there's your little fast food minute. 15 minutes really for us. This is a video game podcast though, so let's get into that. For those of you who don't know, this is our weekly show where we talk about video games, video game news, and other topics pertaining to games. And then maybe sometimes we talk about fast food. We post 6 a.m. Central Time on Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and your favorite podcast app of choice. We're also on YouTube on Mondays, 6 a.m. Central Time. And I am doing Let's Plays. Brigandine, The Legend of Ruiner Serial Let's Plays on YouTube every other day. We're on episode, I think, 18's going live tomorrow or something like that. So we're getting close to the end of the playthrough with that. So check that out as well. There's tons of videos there for that, for you guys. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's start like we always do after we bullshit for 10 or 15 minutes with what we've been playing. Who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
I've been playing a little bit of Sekiro, but I stopped because I was really busy this week. So I couldn't really play as much as I wanted to. And I've been playing a little bit of League of Legends. We got like a little team going here that I'm playing on, like, you know, they're just getting back into it, so I'm kind of like training them up to current speed. But yeah, I'm planning on streaming that pretty soon, so that's what my stream has been like, taking forever to get back on track. But yeah, I'm also like recording footage for a little Sekiro project I want to do later on. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. I guess I'll talk about Sekiro too. So I actually beat Sekiro yesterday. Finished the game, finito, beat the final boss, saw 3 of the 4 endings, and started a new game plus, but I put the game down. I'm gonna be done with it for a bit. But I do want to talk about the game for a bit. So I haven't like gone super deep on it on the show yet. So this game is phenomenal. I can't really say enough about the way it plays. Like, it is I gotta give From a lot of credit here, because they made a truly unique game with this game. Like, there is no other game like this. I know a lot of people are saying Tenchu or whatever the fuck, other game they're comparing it to, but like, it is its own thing. It's got unique mechanics, and that is not something we say about video games in 2020. I don't think there's another game that really has this kind of gameplay. Like, it's its own game, and that is incredible to me that they've made something like that. And it really heartens me to see that, because like, innovation is so, I feel like, sparse sometimes with AAA game development, and From really put it forth in this game, because I don't think I've ever played a game where I really felt like I was getting better and you can see me getting better. It's like obvious. Like, I posted a lot of my fights on Twitter, and just go watch the videos and like watch the progression of me beating the bosses. And like, it's like, by the end of them, some of them I was just like, it was like I was way better at the game. I was deflecting almost every hit. It's like, and you can feel that as you're playing, you're getting better. The game's still really difficult, but it's like you're up to the challenge. And that's what's so special about this game, is that it puts these challenges in front of you, and you've played the game for hours and hours at this point. You fought like 5, 6, 7, 8 bosses, however many bosses, and each one is progressively harder for the most part. And the next one, like, you get up to the next one and you're like, you start fighting it, and you get your ass handed to you the first few times. You're like, fuck, this boss is really hard. This guy's really fast. His patterns are really weird. Like, he's hard to nail down. There aren't a lot of openings or whatever. But then you fight it for like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You start seeing little openings, and then eventually you get through the first health bar, and then you get like halfway through the second health bar, and then you fuck up right at the end. You get really upset, but then you come back and you're like, okay, though, I got this. I fucking got this. And then eventually you fucking got this, and it's like, you beat the shit out of the boss, and it's like, you look like a badass motherfucker. And I don't know. It's just like, I know that we talk about like achievement in games and really like feeling like you did something, and this game really gives you that. It makes you, it doesn't even make you, it like gives you the tools, and then you play it, and it presents you with these challenges that you naturally have to get better to beat, but it's like, it's not in a way that's frustrating. There's very few moments in Sekiro where I was like super mad, like throwing my controller. It was like, okay, I fucked this up. I know what I need to do, but it's just like, I got to learn these patterns. And eventually you do. And when you get to that point, it feels so fulfilling when you beat a boss. Like, when I beat, I think it was the 8th boss and the 9th boss, they're basically the same boss, but they have different movesets. And those are 2 of the hardest fights in the game, in my opinion. And when I beat those, I felt so accomplished. Like, I was like, holy shit, I can beat this game. Like, it was, I don't know, because it was after a long period of time where the bosses weren't really that hard. They weren't super challenging. And then they just kind of throw this boss at you that's like a fucking wall,
Yeah.
And you overcome that. And it's like, then you feel like you can beat anything in the game. But then that same boss with a different moveset is even harder. And it's like, but then you overcome that. And it's like, then you're like, okay, I got this fucking game. I got it. So I will say, from a game standpoint, it does have issues. Like, I don't think it's a perfect game by any stretch of the imagination. Pacing is a really big problem in Sekiro.
The biggest issue in that game.
Yeah, the early game is really bad. I think the first 5 hours or so when you're in the Ashina outskirts before you get to the castle, before you beat the first official boss, is really rough. It seems like a really common hurdle for people getting through that first boss and getting through Lady Butterfly. Those two bosses, like, because I was talking to my brother, he was like, dude, you beat the game in like 2 weeks. Like, what the fuck? It was like, but I was like, once you get over that hurdle, you just want to play more. The game opens up, it gets really fun. The bosses become a lot more fun. And he's having the same problem though. He hasn't gotten a Lady Butterfly yet. He hasn't gotten to the first boss either. And it's like he's not enjoying the game either. And I'm like, you just gotta force your way through it because the game is not good. It doesn't teach you how to play very well. The enemies you're fighting are really weird. You're super weak. Your posture is super weak. You don't hit anything very hard. You can't take a lot of hits. It's like the game just doesn't set you up for success. And I don't know if that's on purpose. That feels like a FromSoft kind of thing that maybe they were doing there. But to me, I don't think that's great design. I think the Lady Butterfly fight should have been one of the first things you did in the game. And that would have been a much better curve of player progression to me. I think it would have smoothed a lot of things out in terms of the issues that I have with that early section of the game. And then in the mid game, I'd say a lot of the bosses are not great. And there's a huge section of maybe 10 hours of this game that I'm not going to say I didn't like, but I just don't think it's the great part of Sekiro,
Yeah, a lot of the mini bosses for me right now, I'm going through New Game Plus. I'm just really not too fond of, especially the Orin of the Water. I think that boss is just really weird to me. But a lot of the mid game bosses, or the mini bosses, a lot of people cheese, and I understand for good reason because they're just not. I don't want to say
they're annoying.
They're annoying.
They're not fulfilling the way the regular bosses are.
Yeah,
like I don't feel accomplished when I beat them. I'm just kind of like I want to get you out of the way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
and a lot of their movesets feel really cheap, especially like the little snake eyes turret guy or who has a gun,
the musket guys.
The musket guys. When he does a little grab move, I feel like that move is just, the hitboxes are totally broken. But I mean, that's just video game shit in general. But I said this last year when I played the game, I was amazed that this game was like they took all the knowledge they learned from all those other From Software games they made, and they applied it to Sekiro. There's still some issues with pacing, but as far as combat, they nailed it. Like they got the bosses and everything right. So I like that.
Yeah, and I'm glad I played it. I'm glad I went back and played this. I think this was the perfect game for me to play after playing Ghost of Tsushima. I was ready for it, and it's nice for me because it broke a mental hurdle that I had with From games and even Neo, to be honest, that these games I think are intimidating to me because of how hard everyone says they are. And the reality actually is that they're hard. They're definitely challenging. They require a certain level of skill, but the game, you can overcome it. It's like, if you really want to do it, you can overcome it.
Yeah, we talk shit about it. I talk shit about those games a lot, like, Sekiro boys and all that shit like that. But anybody can pick this game up, and if they really try, they can beat the game. Like, reality, like it's anybody who plays video games can pick this game up, or any From Software game, to be honest with you, and beat it. I mean, the only challenge is there's no difficulty settings. You have to figure out how to get past it yourself. Like, the game's not gonna put anything there for you to pass it. Like, it's not going to give you a pass. It's unforgiving in that aspect, I guess you would say. But once you figure it out, you figure it out.
Yeah, it is funny too, like, because you fight the third boss in the game, right? Montrell, you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
You fight him at the very beginning of the game, and he cuts your arm off or whatever. And it is funny to me how fucking easy that guy is after you've beaten the game. Because you know how at the beginning of the game you fight him? I went through New Game Plus after I beat the last boss, and I fought him. And you don't get a respawn in that fight. If you die, then a cutscene plays and the story continues.
Yeah.
So you only get one attempt at him, and I beat him last night in New Game Plus, like one attempt. And I'm like, this motherfucker is easy as shit. Like, I was like, man, I remember I spent 2 hours on this guy, when I was doing this earlier in the game, and it's like, holy shit. So you really do get better. And it's like, that's the beauty of the game. So I'd say to anybody who struggled with this game or had issues with the beginning of it, grind through it. And I'd say start with the Harada Estate, get through that and fight Lady Butterfly. That is the fight. That is the moment the game clicks. Like it's a common thing I've seen online for people is that was the fight where people learn how to play this game. And it's true for me as well. Like that's the fight that teaches you the mechanics through gameplay. It's not overtly saying, oh, this is what you're supposed to do, but it's like fighting that fight and beating that fight is what teaches you the game's cadence.
Yeah.
And I think that fight is brilliant actually in that regard. So I think that's my problem with the early game is that you can skip that fight entirely. That's kind of the problem, is I think that fight is necessary to the game's progression. And the game doesn't require you to do it. So I find that odd, but otherwise I think the game is excellent. So I recommend you guys check it out. I can understand why a lot of people were calling it Game of the Year last year. I think I probably would name it my favorite game from last year, in retrospect, given I don't really, I've kind of cooled on last year's games a lot in the past, several months. So, I do think this is probably the best game from the year I played, but I highly recommend it. Check it out, play it, grind through that early game because it's worth it. So, all right, Tiara, what have you been playing?
Same mode. I've been playing Pokemon Sword and Call of Duty.
Okay.
More Pokemon Sword because this week school started back up, so I've been like busy with work, so I've only had time to really play my Switch.
Right.
And a couple games of Warzone.
Mm-hmm. How much further have you gotten in Pokemon? Are you through the gyms yet, or are you still working on that?
Nope, I am through all 8 gyms.
Okay.
I beat my rival. I don't know why my rival thought that he could beat me, honestly. I don't. He has never once beat me, and I don't understand why he has had all this energy. So
that's my issue with Pokemon Sword and Shield. I understand what they're trying to do with the rival. Like I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it like his character development is actually really good. It's just I remember facing Blue or Gary or whatever you want to call him in like Red and Blue and being devastated because he came at the worst times. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, right at the end of a route before you get to the Pokemon Center or something, right as you're entering a village, all your Pokemon are fainted or whatever. Like, he was a piece of shit.
Like even Silver, like when you fought him, he didn't do it as often, but his fights were tough. And I just feel like after that generation, like the rivals just got really easy for me. So I don't know. Maybe it's because I got better at Pokemon naturally. So I don't know.
Yeah, that probably is what it is. Like, I bet if we played Blue now, we'd be like, man, this guy's a chump. But no, I mean, I think we talked about this when we reviewed the games back in November or whatever. But I'd love to see them do a rival who actually is wins against you maybe once or twice. It's like it's a battle you can't win.
If they can.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's a battle you can't win. They put you up against Pokemon that are like level 50 when you're like level 30 or something, It's like, you wouldn't be able to win
traditionally your rival would have the Pokemon that was super effective against you.
Yeah, and they changed it in this one, right? That he has the one that he's weak against. Like he picked the fire Pokemon, he picks the grass one. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And then his brother picks up the other one.
Okay.
The third one. But the thing about it is I was still whooping his ass. I didn't even have my starter Pokemon. Because like I said a couple weeks ago, I ran with all fairy Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're a fairy trainer.
Right. So the whole entire game I had nothing but fairy Pokemon. And so every time he came against me, I had nothing but fairy Pokemon. He had his, starter, but my starter was just chilling. I would occasionally pull my starter out to keep the level up. But then you can do now you can do Pokemon jobs or whatever, and I get some experience.
Yeah, and I mean they get shared experience too from every fight, so you don't even.
And now you get shared. Yeah, right now you get shared experience. But see, that's what I don't like. Well, it's like I like it, but I don't like it. Like, because it's a situation where I'm too OP
Oh,
yeah. Like I had to put away my fairy Pokemon and bring out some of my other favorites.
Some weaker ones to make the game fun.
Yeah, so now I got my starter back out. Got Lucario. I had a Tyrogue, but my Tyrogue evolved into a Hitmontop. I got this little tiny Pokemon, baby Pokemon called a Toxu. And a copper jaw. Which is like this elephant, the steel elephant Pokemon.
So Tiara, I'm gonna ask you, how would you feel if they did a Pokemon game where you can pick any city you start in instead of them giving you a starter city?
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I just wish you just had like more options for a starter Pokemon.
I've been saying this for so long. Oh my god, can we get away from the grass, water, fire trinity? Like, do something else. Do like fucking fairy, dragon, and ice or something. We can figure out a different combination of types. Like,
or just have like one Pokemon for each type. You know,
or honestly,
just give me an Eevee. Just give me an Eevee. Ooh. That's what they should do. They should give you an Eevee.
Well,
and then they should give you the stone or the way to evolve that Eevee to what you want that Eevee to be, because there's an Eevee for every type. So
that's not a bad idea.
To give everybody an Eevee. I love Eevee.
I love Eevee too. Eevee's great. Well, they did that in Let's Go though. They gave you an Eevee and then they didn't let you evolve it. The motherfuckers.
Wow, the tease.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But the thing is that Eevee, it's funny though, the Eevee gets access to moves of every type, which is not normal for Eevee. And it's like the most OP Eevee like ever. Like it's even more powerful than the evolved forms. That's how broken the Pokemon is in Let's Go. So the rival though, I remember his team was just like shit. That's kind of the problem, is the Pokemon they gave him were really not good. He used
that's true too. He
used that stupid sheep Pokemon the whole fucking game, and the thing's garbage. Like
dub wool or some shit like that.
Yeah. Oh, it's trash.
I just caught a Corviknight. I'm so excited. I love this Pokemon. Pokemon big like a raven.
Yeah.
Big and black.
That's my favorite new Pokemon too.
Mm-hmm.
So I just caught one of those.
Well, and then if you took Cinderace, the fire one, the Pokemon he takes, the grass one, is the worst starter of this generation in terms of statistics and moves and everything. Like,
really, that's the one that I picked. I love the grass one.
Okay, well, yeah, so that's the worst one.
I don't know how, because I now have a Rillaboom, and a Rillaboom is pretty good, and I've been whooping up my ass with Rillaboom too.
Mm-hmm. Well. Let us know when you beat it, because I do think the end game in Pokemon Sword and Shield is actually really fun. Like the Pokemon League for this game is a really cool take on that. So yeah, that's cool. Anything else you want to talk about from what you've been playing?
Nope. Oh wait, no. So Shane and I were playing Warzone, and there was this mode on Warzone called the Kingslayer, and it was so cool. Like Final Circle, Battle Royale, or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's how, or better yet, in Warzone, when you're in the pre-lobby and they drop you down into that small circle and you're just killing everybody, while you're waiting for the game to load.
Yeah.
It's like that mode. Essentially, but the circle kept moving. So every so often, the circle would move, and and then it would close in, and then it would move, and it would close in. But it was always that same size of like the pre-lobby, and you just had to keep killing. So it's like kind of like the tally marks was like a kill confirm type thing or whatever. So, you were in squads or trios, or no, it was trios. You were in trios or whatever. And you were gaining points by however many people you killed or whatever, and you would always come back when you die, and it was just like that. And so and then the person who had the most kills was the king, so you got extra points for killing the king. That's what the game's called, Kingslayer. Okay. So that's like really cool. I really honestly like Activision's idea of having like different modes of battle royales, like different things that they do. So this was like the special mode of this week. Kingslayer.
Cool.
Kingslayer trios.
Well, that's nice they're doing that. Keep it fresh, right?
Yes. I love Warzone. For some reason, people don't really like Warzone like that, but I love Warzone.
I think it's battle royale. It's a very divisive genre for whatever reason. I don't know why there's such hatred for it, because I think it's really fun personally. I think it's a breath of fresh air in the first person shooter genre for me. Like, because I hate typical arena shooters. Like, I think they're boring as shit. So I don't know, but to each their own, I guess. All right. Well, let's get into the news. So it's not a lot this week, but there are some interesting stories. Let's start with Sony and PlayStation 5, which has still not been announced. It's been announced, but it's still not been given a price and release date. We still don't know that. But Sony, in their infinite wisdom, decided to hype everybody and tease us by launching a sign-up site for pre-orders. So you get to register on this website to get selected, maybe, to pre-order the console when the price and release date are announced, which they didn't say when that's going to be. And some key facts about this site. So it's US only. So if you live outside the US, fuck you. You can reserve the following. You have limit reservations on the following per PSN ID that is selected: one PlayStation 5 console or one PS5 digital edition, 2 DualSense wireless controllers, 2 DualSense charging stations, 2 Pulse 3D wireless headsets, 2 media remotes, and 2 HD cameras. They said it'll be first come, first serve. And then their criteria for who's going to get an invitation. This is the quote in their fact. Our selection is based on previous interests and PlayStation activities, end quote. I mean, how ironclad are those selection criteria, guys? Like, holy shit. This is the weirdest shit.
So what they're going to do, pick the most people with the most fucking platinums and shit like that?
No, that's the problem with this. It's so fucking vague. This is vague as shit. What does that mean? Previous interests in PlayStation activities? That could mean anything. Like, is it based on number of platinums? Because if that's the case, I mean, that's kind of fucked up. Like who's to say somebody with a high platinum level who was super active during the PS3 generation, didn't play anything during the PS4 and signs up for this, gets it, versus somebody who's been super in on the PlayStation 4 and they get fucked. It's like, I don't know. It just seems like a weird criteria, but I don't know what they could do. Doing fully random would probably piss people off too. So it's like, that's my issue with this in general, is that doing this at all is setting you up for a lot of outrage when this happens, because clearly they don't believe they're going to be able to meet demand. That's the point of this. But restricting it to the US is really fucked up, because PlayStation is big in other countries. Japan, obviously, Europe, it's big. Australia, it's pretty big there too. Like, and they're just shit out of luck. They say in the fact, if you live outside the country and you get selected, you can still pre-order as long as you ship it to a United States address. And it's like, what? What the fuck? So, yeah, I don't know.
I think they should, man, this is bad. I think they should, because then Xbox just came out and said, oh shit, I mistaken clicked something. Because Xbox just came out and said that they only made 875,000 Xbox Series X's.
Yeah, but wasn't that like a special, like, carbon neutral version or something like that?
Everyone was saying that, like, that's the console. Like, the console was just saying that it's carbon neutral.
So like, if they've only made 800,000, that's nothing. Yeah. For a launch, like, you have to have 5 million minimum, probably ready to go on launch day.
I don't think, bro. I honestly don't think, like, I'm expecting like the 5 million to go half to the millions of millionaires that are already in the States right now, and the thousandaires. But like, I don't think like a common person. I don't think one of 3 of us is gonna get it. Like,
yeah, you don't think so?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because how big of Sony's allocation are they going to allocate to this pre-order thing? Because I signed up, but I'm looking at the site right now, and you can't sign up anymore. The place to put your PSN ID is gone, and it's been like this for a few days. So I don't know how much interest they got. They must have gotten fucking blasted in the first couple days of this. But that's kind of the other problem here is like, okay, even if I get this, it's like, do I want to put the money down on this? And then what is the shipping situation going to look like? Am I going to get it on launch day from Sony, or am I going to have to wait like 3 or 4 days for them to ship it to me? And then it gets, goes through UPS or whoever they decide to use. And it's like, and then there's other weird shit too here. Like, who the fuck needs to pre-order 2 HD cameras? What the fuck? Why is that even there? Like, why is there a limit? Why is there a limit of 2 on that? Like, who fucking needs 2 cameras? Like what? 2 media remotes? You can only get 1 console. Like why? I don't understand this. Like, it's just weird. The whole thing is strange to me. 2 headsets even, like, that's a little weird, 2 extra DualSense controllers, I guess, for backups, but it's like you're not going to need 3. Nobody does local co-op anymore. So it's like, what? I don't know. The whole thing is strange. This whole thing is weird to me. And it's like, I just think this is de-hype. Personally, for me, it's like it's I just want to know what the damn thing's gonna cost. They're trying to keep the hype going, and it's just starting to get more and more annoying every week we do this. Like, we're in September. We are recording this in September. We are 10 weeks away from when these consoles are supposed to launch, and we don't know the price.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting really bad. I mean, not really bad as far as that. I don't know. Like, TR, do you think like we're being illogical when we want the price of the other damn consoles? Like, people are being like, oh, the price doesn't matter, guys. Like, what do you care about the price for? And it's like, they should have been announced the price. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they should have been announced it. They should have been said it. Like,
no, I think they should have definitely been announced it. Definitely should have been said it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's like, it's wild because it's just like people were like, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal, guys. I'm like, well, people got to plan out for this stuff. Like,
yeah, I mean, but even more so, just to a confirmation that the systems are still coming out. When you release a price, it's like confirmation. Yeah. Now you just got people, in limbo. Like, is it coming out? Is it not coming out? Is anybody going to say anything?
Because I'm still not convinced of that. I mean, we are at the point where these things are probably on ships on their way here. But like, isn't that crazy? We don't know the price, and they're on fucking boats probably on their way across the ocean right now. Like, what? They're gonna the price is probably gonna leak before they announce it at this rate. Like, that's
I'm surprised it hasn't leaked already, but I just think it's wild people are defending.
There's nothing to defend here. This makes no sense. These two are playing chicken with each other, and it's not helping anyone.
Well, they're getting annoyed with people asking for the price. Like, well, stop asking for the price. It's not going to come out. It's like, well, we don't say nothing then. Like, this is weird. Like, no one sees that how weird this is. Like, even on my timeline, that's what I'm seeing. I don't know about y'all's timeline, but my timeline, I'm seeing people like, I don't think this is a big deal, and people should just stop complaining about it. I'm tired of y'all complaining about it. And it's like, bro, it's a legitimate complaint in my opinion, but whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, typically these have been announced 6 months before their console. Usually by E3, we know what the price is. Yeah. And obviously E3 didn't happen this year, but they've had ample opportunities to tell us what the price is. And the rumors have been that, Sony's waiting on Microsoft to say what their price is before they say theirs. And it's like, at a certain point, one of you still has to say something. Like, you can't go into October and not have told us what the damn price of this thing is,
Even still, say if Microsoft was like, oh, our stuff is going to be $400. Like, what is Sony going to do? $350? Like, I don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're not going to undercut that. Like, there's no way we learned months ago that the units cost $450 a piece to make for Sony. So there's there's not much wiggle room for them. It's going to be $450, $500. It's going to be between $450 and $600. That is my guess on the price. And obviously I know that's a large range, but they're not going to go lower than $450. I just don't see that. That just seems. I know they did that with PS3 where they were eating costs, but the damn thing cost $600 and they still were losing money on each unit. It's like that. I don't think they're going to do that now. I don't think they're going to do that kind of thing now. So I don't know. I don't know. This is weird to me. I mean, it's like, it's almost, you're signing up for like a raffle to be selected to pay for something. It's like what? Like what? I don't know. It's weird. I just find the whole thing strange. So I don't know. But you guys can try your luck. Go to the pre-order website and see if you can put your name in.
I already come to grips with myself that I'm not getting these consoles until next year. I'm already come to grips with that.
I might not be either. I've been thinking about it. I mean, we've talked about it. It's like I don't know. Do I need it? Like I got a big backlog over there that I need to play.
That's my point right there. Do I need it? And I don't need it right now because like you said, my backlog is huge. This is an excellent opportunity for just me to just clear my backlog out.
Right. So that might be the plan. But all right, let's move on. We got another PS5 story. Ubisoft has leaked through a FAQ on their website. I think it's just a support FAQ on their webpage that the PlayStation 5 is not going to be backwards compatible with PS3, PS2, and PS1. Now, on the US version of this FAQ page, it does not mention those consoles, but on other countries' versions of those webpage, it does. So they basically confirm this essentially, but I'm sure some people are going to be upset about this, but this is no surprise to me. I was never expecting PS3, PS2, or PS1. I was hoping for it, but honestly, the more I thought about it, the more Sony kind of talked about the PS4 back compat. I was like, they're not going to figure this out. B, who cares? PS3 is like a 10-year-old console. Like, who fucking cares? Like, am I really buying a PlayStation 5 to play 10, 20-year-old games? No, I can do that in other ways. It's like, so do you guys think this is a big deal? Like, is this a problem for you guys?
No.
I mean, that's it for that story because I don't fucking care. Like, if I would have played my PS3 games, I would just play them on. Honestly, I'll be honest. A lot of the PS3 games, a lot of us is nostalgia. We played these games and they have not aged.
Yeah.
Like
they're not great.
A lot of them are really bad. A lot of them, are good, but a lot of them are like really bad. So it's like I don't really have any desire. Like I think the cutoff limit, like Xbox is doing too much, right? They're like, oh, you can play every game. I'm like, all right.
I mean, that's great. I think that's a great additive thing for them.
That is a great additive thing.
Not necessary.
Motherfuckers are just talking about the 360. That's all. That's all you really cared about. Yeah. We're just like, yo, it's backwards compatible with 360, and that's what the PlayStation 4 should have did, right? The PlayStation 4 should have been backwards compatible with the PS3.
As long as the emulator works, I'm good. I don't have any actual disc to use for it to be backwards compatible.
Yeah, I think I'm assuming PlayStation Now is still going to fully be functional, and
it absolutely will be. It's going to be a huge pillar of the PlayStation 5's media.
That would be stupid if they didn't do that. That would be really dumb. Right. If they're like PlayStation Now too, and you're like, okay, now you're just not fucking with me, PlayStation.
PlayStation Now too. Dude. What would that even be?
I joke about that, but watch they do that
so
shit.
Fucking dumb. It's not like there's hardware associated with PlayStation Now. It's like it's a cloud-based service. What's that? What does a sequel to a cloud-based service look like? That's weird. But so whatever. You're not gonna be able to play your PS3 games with PS5. I mean, I could have told you that probably a year ago, and it was probably never happening.
I don't think anyone was asking for it anyway, but
right. All right, let's move on. So we had Gamescom happen last week. I think it happened on Thursday. The opening night happened on Thursday. It happened over a few days, but the big stuff happened on Thursday. I'm going to be honest. I didn't actually watch very much of this, so we'll go through what you guys want to talk about here. There were some big things, but I think Montrell, you did watch some of this, right?
I only watched like 30 minutes, maybe like 20 minutes of it. It was nothing but a recap of what we already saw. I think the only thing that was announced was we already got a story for it, but I don't even think that was announced at the Gamescom.
No, there was no new games announced at this. It was all existing games just showing footage and gameplay.
Yeah, so I mean, it was existing stuff that we already saw, so I really don't have any new opinions on anything. Like, you can go back to our past podcast and listen to what we said about that.
Well, Tiara, you did want to talk about Dragon Age though, because they didn't show gameplay for Dragon Age, from what I understand, but they showed it. About that, yeah. They showed a behind-the-scenes trailer for Dragon Age 4, and Man, let's talk about a game that's not coming out till 2023.
Is that really when it's coming out?
That is my conservative guess. That's like best case scenario in my opinion of when this game is coming out. I think 2024 is more realistic.
Yeah, like I was saying offline, I was saying that, I like Dragon Age. Don't get me wrong. Dragon Age was cool. But I was okay with the Dragon Age game never coming out again. Like, I was not one of those people who was like, oh, when is the next Dragon Age coming out? Like, no, I firmly believe that BioWare needs to put all of its assets into making another Mass Effect. Another Mass Effect game.
Yeah.
That's the real thing. When is another Mass Effect game coming out? So the fact that it's like, oh my gosh, Dragon Age. Like, yeah, because it's Dragon Age, I'll get it. I'll play it. I'll beat it. But really, I want another Mass Effect game.
Yeah.
I want to add on to Andromeda. That's what I want.
Yeah. Well, Montrell told me this a while back, but I honestly have noticed this, like seeing all this Dragon Age stuff, the hype levels that people are getting to. Apparently, Dragon Age is like bigger than Mass Effect in terms of fandom, and that seems insane to me because I don't think Dragon Age is cool, but it's really not anything like super special in my opinion. Like I enjoy the franchise, but it's really generic fantasy, like almost by the book, in a lot of ways. And I don't find that super appealing in a video game, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the lifetime sales between Mass Effect and Dragon Age, but I can't. I mean, they don't really have.
I know Inquisition sold like crazy huge. Like I know that game was a big seller for BioWare, but I don't know how it compares to Mass Effect.
But even like before Inquisition, I feel like the fandom was still like, yo, Dragon Age over Mass Effect all day, every day. Like,
yeah, and that was probably because of Dragon Age Origins, which was a CRPG that was admittedly very good. It was a really good game.
It was really good. I liked it.
So the storyline, amazing. Gameplay, horrible.
You're not a CRPG gamer? Yeah, it's a give or take kind of thing. If you don't like it, you're not going to like it.
It was definitely Unforgiven because there was some instances, though, Justin, like when you're doing the traveling and they roll and you get, like, especially early game, and you get
a bad roll.
You get attacked by
20 attacked by like a Darkspawn warlord or some shit, yeah. Or fucking mage. God forbid you fight a mage early game. Oh my god. They will one-shot your whole party like with a single fireball. Like,
I fucking hated that shit. That shit pissed me off. But yeah, like Tiara said, the story was good. I played on Xbox 360 though, so that's probably why my gameplay analysis of it is like terrible. I fucking hate it. Don't ever play Dragon Age.
It's a PC game.
Yeah, play it on PC. But I guess the fans come from Inquisition because Inquisition did sell a lot compared to the last Mass Effect, Andromeda, but I don't remember people standing outside for Dragon Age. Like, I remember each Mass Effect that came out, especially Mass Effect 3. Oh my god, I went to go pick Mass Effect 3 up, and I had to stand the line. Dude, this is when you had to go back to GameStop to get it. The line was wrapped around the corner like it was a Halo game at the time, and I'm like, damn, this is Mass Effect, and it was people cosplaying in line and everything. Like, it was crazy. I never seen anything like that. So
do you remember? You guys remember when Mass Effect 3 launched? It was 2012, right? I think it was March of 2012 that game launched. Do you remember the campaign they launched before the game came out, like the marketing campaign where they like hid copies of Mass Effect 3 in like California, just out in the fucking wild, and people like literally were out there like hiking trying to find this fucking these games, and like people found them too, which is the hilarious thing, but they found them like after the fucking game came out, so it's like pointless. It ended up being pointless. But
I did find an article. Mass Effect Dragon Age Inquisition is BioWare's best-selling game, so yes, is official. Dragon Age is bigger than Mass Effect.
Makes sense, but yeah,
or Inquisition.
Yeah, Inquisition. Yeah. But I think that grabbed a lot of fans because a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I think it did.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't play, and I think that's the worst time to be a fan, in my opinion, because if you play Dragon Age Inquisition and then went to Mass Effect Andromeda, you're not expecting to play any of the Mass Effects because Andromeda was Andromeda was okay, but it wasn't like it wasn't the trilogy. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
right. It didn't have the same pop. So yeah, Dragon Age 4. I mean, I'm kind of with Tiara. Like I can give or take this franchise. I'll probably play Dragon Age 4, but you know, it really depends on how like what the game actually is. You know,
get ready for another 100 and 200 hours of just stuff to do. Because that's
remember the rumors that it was going to be a live service game. Like, I mean, God. we don't know if that's not true or not yet. So,
they don't
until they come out and show us gameplay and definitively like say that's not true, then I'm holding my breath on it. I'm not really like super interested. So,
but then again, I wouldn't put it past EA because they still don't get it. Like, I know we're not going to talk about it now, but fucking Madden 21 is just fucking terrible. Go watch Angry Joe's video.
I need to watch Angry Joe's video, man. It's becoming an annual tradition, baby. Like him just showing that game. And did they copy paste the same player faces again?
Yep.
For like the 5th year in a row? What the fuck are we doing? Why are you buying Madden? Stop it. Don't get me on this soapbox right now.
But I'm just saying, I wouldn't put it past them trying to make Dragon Age live service game.
In hell, man. What a joke. Like, okay, well, other games at Gamescom. I don't know if I'm just going to run through the list here real quick. Stop me if you guys want to talk about any of these games. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which is the PS5 launch game, platformer / shooter. Sea of Thieves had some footage. World of Warcraft Shadowlands got a release date for October 27th. Which that is weirdly a big deal. It's kind of weird to me that it is, but I guess World of Warcraft is World of Warcraft, so it makes sense. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga was shown, but it also got a delay, spring 2021 on it. So they showed more footage of Genshin Impact, which is the free-to-play action RPG, which is coming to PS4, PC, and mobile. So that sounds great. Summoner's War, Sky Arena was shown. Co-op RPG Haven was shown. I don't remember that game. I've not heard of that one. Drake Hollow, which is a village builder. Ace Combat 7, dogfighting game. Of course, they showed a trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So officially revealing this game. And actually, I did watch the trailer. It was pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah, President Ronald Reagan's going to be in there.
Yeah, man. Hey, you want to assassinate some motherfuckers for president? Here you go. Here's your game. Fall Guys Season 2 did get announced as well. I didn't actually watch this trailer yet. I'll probably do it after we are done here. But so that's cool. They're already marketing that, even though Season 1's not even... I don't even think it's half over yet. So.
No, it's not.
And then Sims 4 has a Star Wars expansion coming to it. That sounds interesting too.
They pretty just milk these Sims games, honestly.
Oh, the Sims are huge.
Yeah, it's huge. But hey, they even milking that Star Wars license. You see that? Like, who would have thought that shit?
It's not a bad idea, actually. I mean, you build your own like Death Star, and you run around as like a stormtrooper. Having sex with other stormtroopers. I mean, that sounds like a good time, dude. You go up to the Emperor, and he's like, "You're fucking useless," blah, and he kills you. And then you have to make a new Sim.
You're fucking useless. Too bad. You're fucking useless. Blah.
Skywalker. I'm not gonna go through the rest of these games. This fucking list of games they showed is endless. So go check this out. It was over 2 hours of presentation. So check that out if you guys are interested. A lot of stuff there. So all right, let's move on. This story is a lot more interesting to me. So we've talked about Halo Infinite a lot since the Xbox Game Showcase. Gamebox. That sounds like a terrible console.
It sounds like a sitcom, like game console.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. They have like the fake game console in the living room or whatever. The Gamebox. But so there's been a lot of drama surrounding this game in recent weeks. A lot of rumors flying around about them using contract labor, like majority of the staff being contractors, and that being a big problem because they're not able to retain these people because they move on to other projects or get actual full-time jobs and stuff. But the thing that was official, that was announced by Microsoft, though, is that they had brought back a Bungie veteran named Joseph Staten, and he worked on a number of the Halo games, and he is coming back to be the campaign lead, project lead for the campaign of Halo Infinite. And this is in the end of August. This is being announced for a game that was supposed to be coming out this November and is now delayed to 2021. Do you guys feel like this game is close if this is what's happening right now, like after this game was shown in July?
No. I can't believe. What are they? Maybe. Okay. I think they said that it's like the campaign's gonna be an ever expanding campaign, so that's why it's called Halo Infinite. So maybe like they hired him for like next DLCs that's gonna come out.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what's happening. I mean, now that they got a year though, they may actually redesign some parts of the first campaign, like the initial campaign. But I think that was primarily because I do remember during the trailer when they first revealed Halo that they said it's going to be we're going to expand upon the campaign, and I don't want to say they're going to make it a live service game, but it seems like they're going to keep expanding upon this Halo instead of releasing more Halos in the future. So that's why it's called Halo Infinite.
Right. I mean, to me, I don't know. I mean, I could see what you're saying. I think that's definitely true. But I don't know. I'm getting a bad vibe from this game now. Like this is too many dings against this game in a short period of time that it just feels like they're not close. They can't be that close. If they're doing any kind of modification to the campaign at this point, that is going to take a lot of time, because that could have ripple effects throughout the entirety of this game, especially if they want to keep it that open world style. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not getting a good feeling from it. It is interesting they announced this publicly too. Like, they made an actual like press release for this announcing it. So it's like, I don't know. It's almost they wanted to do this to like reassure people, but I feel like it's having the opposite effect, at least for me. Tiara, I mean, what do you feel about this? Like, I know you're not like super big on Halo, but like, does this rub you the same way it's rubbing me with this?
No, like, I'm really indifferent. Like you said, I don't really care about Halo, honestly. That's it. That's how it's always been. Like I said, I've played 1 through 4. And still can't tell you what Halo's about. So that just goes to show you.
That is fair.
That just goes to show you how little I care about Halo.
I mean, to be honest, the game died at. I mean, the campaign should have stopped at 3. If we be honest.
Yeah.
I did like Reach. When Master Chief went from being the only Spartan to now there's a bunch of Spartans.
Yeah, the Reach was a prequel, so. Reach was
I know.
Okay, yeah.
But now it's like ingrained into the canon, like, oh, there's more than one Spartan. Because in Halo 5 you play as like a group of Spartans. You play as, Master Chief, his group, and then you play as another group of Spartans. And it's like, hey, I thought you were the only one. And somebody was like, oh, well, they did the canon over or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have a lot of books and stuff where I think they've kind of retconned some things, and it's a very large universe, actually, Halo. It's just interesting. They have a lot of like side media, like, I mean, they're doing a television show, I think, right?
Yeah, so like with Halo Reach, it was based off the book. Well, the book they retconned the book. So I don't know if y'all begin Halo 1. I'll just give y'all a quick rundown. Halo 1, you come out the thing, you're supposed to be a last Spartan. So in Halo Reach, they're showing how the Covenant attacked their planet that made the Spartans, and that's how all the Spartans died, because like a lot of their Spartans were on that one, and then there were a lot of other Spartans scattered throughout the galaxy that were doing various missions. So when you meet them back on Halo 5, like they all, like after the whole war came back, a lot of those Spartans like made their way back. It was on like maybe like 2 or 3 of them, and that was Master Chief Squad that you play as, with Master Chief's side of the story. Now the other one, Agent Locke, on his side, they made a new Spartan program where those Spartans are not as strong as Master Chief Spartans, but it was more safer. To do Master Chief Spartans, to do the augmentation for the body, you had to be a child. So they had to kidnap you as a child. They replaced they replaced you with a clone that was that was gonna die soon, like it was terminal. They replaced that, and your parents would forget about you. So you are nothing to anyone else, but now you're just a military number. And then that's how the Spartan 2s were raised. The Spartan 4s, which are the ones in Halo 5, those are selected ODST members, and they undergo the new augmentation program that you can get as an adult when you're ODST, which is their special forces, like their elite special forces people that are still just regular humans, but they go above and beyond. Obviously like our Delta Force, Delta Force, Navy SEALs, whatever, Royal Guard, blah, 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 blah. So those are their ODSTs, and then they become Spartan 5s. So that's just a quick rundown of the whole Spartan thing. And yeah.
Well, I do think this appointment kind of indicates, though, that I think they might drop the Xbox One support for this game, because I know that was a big selling point of this game, was that it was going to be cross generation or whatever. But I mean, the fact that it's coming in 2021, first of all, like, is there even a point to releasing it on current gen at that point? And it depends on how late into 2021 it comes out too. If it's in like August or September or November or October, November, it's like, is that like you're holding the game back at that point? So maybe that's what this appointment is for as well. Maybe to kind of do that.
It was a rumor too. I don't know. I think either it was a rumor or confirmed. I got to check after the podcast. But the multiplayer for Halo is going to be free to play. Like it's going to be a separate entity from the actual Halo thing, and it's just going to be free for everyone who has Xbox, Game Pass or Xbox Live, and you can just play it. And I think that's the thing they're going to go with for cross compatibility as far as that. But I think you're right about Halo Infinite. They're probably going to slash that cross compatibility for the older gen games, but make it make the multiplayer for everybody.
All right, let's move on. This is a brief story, honestly. Ubisoft announced that there's going to be an Ubisoft Forward next week on September 10th. There are a lot of rumors going around of what might be shown here. Potentially, obviously, we're probably going to get more Assassin's Creed, I would expect, but we might get that Prince of Persia game we talked about a couple weeks ago revealed. They are going to re-reveal the game called Gods and Monsters, and it's going to be renamed to something else. It's going to be rebranded. So, and that was a game that was touted as like a Zelda-like game. So I'll be interested kind of to see what that is, but we will probably be covering that on next week's show. Is there anything here you guys are anticipating with Ubisoft?
I mean, I think they got one game that they announced years ago. I think it was called Beyond Good and Evil.
Oh, yeah, Beyond Good and Evil 2. That might be getting a re-reveal.
Okay, yeah, because they revealed that like a couple of years ago, and I haven't.
That was in like 2015 or 2016.
Yeah, and I haven't heard anything from it at all. I actually forgot about it until now. So, because I actually liked the Beyond and Good Evil game, so it was interesting to see they were going to bring it back. But yeah, that's the only thing I'm really hyped for. I mean, unless they bring Ghost Recon back to its original form of like squad base.
Is being rumored that that is a potential reveal here. So there's been some rumors going around that game exists, like a new Ghost Recon game, and or maybe not Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell, isn't it? Splinter Cell is
Splinter Cell's for you talking about Sam Fisher?
Right?
Sam Fisher.
Yeah, that's the stealth one, right?
Yeah.
That's the one that I'm hearing about a lot.
Okay.
Splinter Cell might be getting a reveal as well, like a new game in that franchise potentially.
I did like Splinter Cell. I wasn't the biggest fan of Splinter Cell, but I did like it. I did like the little battles they had between Metal Gear being the best one or Splinter Cell, and I like Splinter Cell for what it was. So. I mean, it'll be cool.
Well, those fans are desperate for something because they keep putting Sam Fisher in like everything else that they have, and those fans are starting to get real pissed that there isn't a new game. So I think all this stuff recently where they're putting him in like, fucking Rainbow Six, and they put him in some other game that they're making, that might be leading to an actual game reveal. So we'll, if that's the case, you're going to see the internet explode with hype next week. So, Tiara, any Ubisoft games you want to see at this? Or are you just waiting for Assassin's Creed at this point?
I was like, you already know. I'm just waiting for Valhalla.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm sure they'll show that a little bit more here. I don't know how much more they need to show, really, but they can't help themselves with Assassin's Creed.
Outside of that, I'm good on Ubisoft. I just want Valhalla.
Fair enough. All right, cool. All right, let's move on. We got a couple more stories here. This one is one we normally wouldn't cover, but there's a specific reason we want to talk about it. So Nvidia announced yesterday or the day before, I don't remember. They announced their 30 series graphics cards, which, in the PC space, this is actually super hype. Going to be honest, this is a very large jump compared to the 20 series from my point of view, and the price drop in this series is crazy.
It is a huge deal. Like that's a big deal. Like Justin saying, like it's a huge deal. Nvidia used to be like really unaffordable, in my opinion.
Well, they've always been high priced, but the 20 series cards, for some reason, they went fucking insane and decided to price them at like almost twice the price they normally would be. Like the 2080 Ti is like a $1,200 graphics card, which is fucking insane. Usually the 80 Ti series are the $600 to $700 range, and they almost doubled the price with that generation of cards, and they weren't that big of an upgrade over the 10 series. So them announcing these cards that they're going to be that much more powerful, like some of them are rumored to be like 80% more powerful, like contemporary to the other, not like the 80 versus the 80 is like that big of a jump. And even the 70 series is supposed to be more powerful than the 80 Ti in the current 20 series, which is a huge deal, because the card's only going to cost like, I think 500 or 400 or something like that. So it's a big leap in power with a much lower price point that is way more affordable. I know that doesn't sound very affordable, $500, but in the PC gaming space, for a video card, like high-end graphics card, that actually is very affordable. So yeah, it's a big deal in the PC gaming space, but the reason we're bringing it up is not because of that. It's really because of a conversation that started happening on Twitter that Montrell got involved with, but I saw it and Tiara saw it too, and it's just kind of, I don't know, the PC audience, there were some people out there saying, with these cards being as powerful as they are and priced the way they are, why would you even buy an Xbox or a PlayStation 5? And I think we want to kind of dispel the notion of how ridiculous that is, because what did I just say? A graphics card costs $500, right? Well, a PC is not just a graphics card.
Yes,
there are several other parts that you need to make a PC run.
You need the hard drive, you need the motherboard, you need the
power supply,
you need the CPU, the power supply, you need the case,
solid state drives, you need a cooling unit, you need fans, you need a case, all that stuff, and you need peripherals and monitors and like tons of shit that will cost you well over that $500 price point. Even if you're being conservative.
Yeah, I would say low end, you're going to spend at least $1,000. Low end
on the rest of that shit, right? Yeah. If you're going to buy a $500 graphics card to make it worth it. So that idea that these cards are somehow, they're so affordable that why would anybody buy a console is completely absurd. And then Montrell kind of got into it with somebody, like the value of consoles versus PCs, and this guy was arguing that like PCs are like, why would you ever want to use a console? PCs are better in every way, and it's like, we've talked about this on the show before, but that's just not true. Like I don't know, Montrell, do you want to go into some of the stuff you were talking about?
The debate was, he kept trying to go around the debate saying like, PCs are easy to build, and it's ignorant. This is his words, not mine. It's ignorance at this point if you can't build a PC, because there are tons of information out there for you to know how to build a PC. And I was on the other side of the fence saying, yes, that is true. There's tons of information out there on how to build a PC. There's also tons of information out there how to build a fucking gun. Like, there's a ton of information out there how to change a fucking oil, but people don't want to do that shit. They want to buy it outright or they don't want to. And as far as like games wise, some people just want to plug and play. Like, I'm a PC gamer. I built my PC. I work on computers for a fucking living. I even have consoles because sometimes I just don't want to deal with my fucking computer. I don't even want to look at my computer sometimes when I get home. Right. I just want to jump on my game. So it's like, that's unrealistic to say that, oh, you know, everyone should get a PC. Like, and I know there are going to be PC fanboys out there like, well, you know, my kid, they built themselves, or I built them a little PC and they love it. Like, all right, bro, but not everybody wants to build their kid a PC. That's why we got Switch. That's why we got the PS4. That's why we got the Xbox. Plug and play. And it was just a weird argument that I was having because I kept mentioning different valid reasons, and then some people just don't want to play on the PC. Like, it just doesn't click for them. Like, they're like, I tried it, it just doesn't click for me. And those were like not valid to this guy, and apparently to a lot of other people in the main tweet that we were like tweeting under. Like, it was just, that concept is so foreign to them that people just don't, to say that they don't want to do it, either they're stupid, they're lazy, or they're just, I already said it's stupid, or they're just ignorant and they don't understand what PCs are and stuff like that. And that's just not the case. Like, there are rocket scientists who just fucking don't want to play on PC, bro. They just want to plug and play when they get home. Like, I don't understand.
Right.
So,
yeah, I don't understand why PC gamers are so adamant about this, that, oh, it's not that hard. Oh, there's plenty of video. It's like, how many things in your life do you do that you know very little about?
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing that he said. I'm sorry to cut you off. You know, there's hardly any issues, that there's no hassles. Because I said, that was the main word I used. I said, there's a lot of hassles that come with PC gaming. And there is. Like, getting the OS to work. And once you install the drivers, like, you had hassles. And you, like me, work on computers for a living, and you had the biggest issue for like 2 or 3 weeks with your new PC build. So it's like,
oh, I've had multiple issues with this PC build. I also work in technology, like support as well. And yeah, putting this computer together, like, I learned a lot of shit I didn't know, that, you know, power supplies, the cables aren't swappable between power supplies. I'm sure a lot of you don't fucking know that. I'm sure the guy you were talking to probably doesn't fucking know that. Like, that is not common knowledge, because it's not an issue most of the time. But it's like, so these issues happen, and that took me 3 weeks to figure out. I also had an issue recently where I was trying to encode video for the Let's Plays, and it was crashing my computer, and it took me days to figure it out because it was a completely obscure thing that I had to find on a fucking forum.
It was one setting specific,
too. And it was a setting on my CPU, Intel Turbo Boost, which can go fuck itself, was making my computer run. My CPU was running 40 degrees Celsius hotter when it was getting under load than when I turned it off. My CPU now runs at 50 degrees, low 50 degrees Celsius at 100% load. And it was running into the 90s and crashing before when I had that on. Like, that's the kind of shit that people aren't going to want to deal with. Like, regular people that don't know how to deal with PC stuff, they're not going to want to deal with. They're not going to want to deal with Windows issues. They're not going to want to deal with driver issues, software issues, issues totally with programs. Like,
that's totally valid. Like,
there's a myriad of things.
Yeah, and that's totally acceptable. I don't
like Tiara said, maybe you just don't fucking want to play on PC. Like, playing on PC, mouse and keyboard, it requires a specific setup. You need a desk, you need monitors, you need a chair that has good lumbar support so you're not breaking your fucking back, because you can't lean back and play on mouse and keyboard. You can't do that effectively. Like, it requires specific things, and maybe that's not an enjoyable experience to people. Maybe some people want to play on their fucking couch. That's what consoles are there for. Like, and consoles are convenient. They're cheaper. Yes, they're not as powerful as PCs. They never will be, but they don't need to be because of all those other factors that we just brought up.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the desk and the chair, because that's another $1,000 to whatever, how much money you put into it.
That could be, you could put thousands into it if you want. And it's like, even on the cheap end, though, to get good stuff, you're putting in bare minimum 500 probably on those things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hate these arguments. I hate it when PC gamers like get into these arguments because they are so fucking irrational. It's like I was saying earlier, how many things you do in your life every day? Are you a fucking expert on everything you use? Like your car, your fucking house, everything you use in your life? Like cooking, you know how to cook everything you do? Like, no, dude. There are things you don't know how to do, and there are things you don't want to waste your time learning because it's not worth it. Like, you go to work and you want to come home and you just want to relax. Yeah. Some people just want to do that some days. And guess what? Consoles facilitate that because you turn them on and they fucking work. That's it. There's no issues with them.
And if something is wrong, more than likely they're under warranty, or you can just send them back and then get a new console. Like it's not that big of a deal.
It's pretty simple. Yeah. Whereas with a PC, good luck. Every part has its own warranty, and some warranties are better than others. And sometimes you get a replacement part that's dead on arrival, and then you need to go through another different process to get that replaced, and it's like a nightmare. Yeah. Then your PC's out of commission for like 3 or 4 weeks. It's like, yeah, that sounds really fun.
Oh, God forbid you get a virus from somewhere, like, you know.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, I forgot about that too. You know. Oh, and you need firewalls and all this other. You know, it's like no. Owning a PC is a thing. Like it's an investment in time and effort.
I'm gonna say it's definitely its own myriad of stuff to deal with. So.
And acting like it's not is actually the ignorant part. Like, in my opinion, like
hell, even buying a gaming laptop, you still would run into those issues of driver issues and things of that nature. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, like Tiara, you have a gaming laptop, right? And you have an issue with it. Like, it's like broken, right? And you haven't bothered to fix it because it's like, is it worth your time to figure it out?
It's not. My laptop has been broke for like 2 or 3 years now. Like, it's.
And you've lived without that thing, haven't you?
Exactly. And never thought twice about it. Like, I keep saying I'm going to get it repaired, and I am eventually one of these days. But honestly, it's just not a necessity.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And I don't know.
And she's super smart. She's a fucking teacher. So I mean, I don't understand. Like the simple fact that he was just implying that if you don't have a PC, you're ignorant. That's what really pissed me off. I'm like, bro,
that's a bad take.
Yeah, like it's a huge
bad take. And the idea that a $500 graphics card invalidates the existence of $500 consoles, that's absurd. That is absurd. Like, there's no other way to say that. It's just ridiculous. Like, I don't know. So, yeah. PC gamers, check yourselves, okay? You guys are a specific audience. I'm part of that audience. Montrell's part of that audience. But like, and we love it. I love my PC. I love PC gaming.
I do too. I love it. But
I love these cards. I'm really excited about the 30 series, actually. Like, I'm thinking about saving up for one of them. But
I'm just being realistic about the situation, though. I understand it's not accessible to everybody, or some people just don't want to do it, and that's totally fine. And I get that.
Right. There's many reasons.
Yeah.
Many valid reasons why you wouldn't want to. So stop bagging on people. Let them play consoles. Just let them play the way they want to play. Let them exist the way they want to exist. Let's stop trying to force our own fucking lifestyles on other people because they don't want it. Okay? Enjoy yours. So, all right, let's move on. We got one more story here. I know Montrell's so excited about this. Me too, man.
I actually don't even want to talk about this shit. But
we had a Nintendo Direct. I think it was last week, and it was a mini Direct. Everyone on the internet was super pissed because Nintendo didn't show any first-party games. But what they did show is one game, Kingdom Hearts: Melody of Memory, and it got a release date. It's coming on November 13th, Montrell. Are you fucking jazzed about this game?
All right, so no joke. I thought I was a Kingdom Hearts fan, and I know you're a Kingdom Hearts fan.
Yep.
Apparently, we're not, because
we're not. That's what I learned. Yeah.
No, yeah, because apparently, I think I retweeted it, but it was like weeks ago, like a couple weeks ago. But apparently, this has been the biggest thing that Kingdom Hearts fans have been waiting for. They've been waiting for this game forever. Bro. They said there are some Kingdom Hearts fans saying like, yo, since I've been playing this game, I heard the music, I wanted to play like a rhythm game. And I'm like, all right, I understand it. Like, you know, like, cause I think a lot of people compared it to the Final Fantasy rhythm game that was on the 3DS or the yeah. So
Theater Rhythm Fantasy or something.
Yeah, so they said like, you know, Kingdom Hearts fans, like, this is a big thing in Japan. So like people were like, oh, like Kingdom Hearts fans in Japan have just been, you know, raving about this. I have never in all my life of reading fanfic for this shit when I was like younger and all this shit, have never seen someone's like, yo, you know what I want? A fucking Kingdom Hearts rhythm game. I've never seen it.
Dude, this is the Little Mermaid world from Kingdom Hearts 2, the game. Like, that's what and everyone apparently wants that. What world have I been living in, dude? I remember when Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, we all fucking hated that world. We all hated it. What happened? When did this transformation happen? Like, dude, I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan, am I? Like, I'm not part of the fandom. Like, because I could give a shit about this.
Yeah,
like,
apparently this has been like Nomura's thing. Like, he's been wanting to make this game for a while too.
Yeah, no, and they confirmed there are going to be official story beats in this game. Like, if you want the full story of the next Kingdom Hearts game, you're gonna have to play this.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Not again. Nope. This is it. This is my cutoff point right here. I'm sorry. If they come out with a Kingdom Hearts 4 and it looks fucking good as shit, still not buying the shit. You know why? I can't do it anymore. I'm not about to buy 1 billion side games just to understand Kingdom Hearts 4.
I can't stand this with this franchise. The side games. I'm sick of this shit. I don't want this anymore. I just want Kingdom Hearts 4.
We're not going to get that.
We're not. No, it's going to be another like generation of video games before we get to Kingdom Hearts 4, isn't it, dude? Isn't it? Like, yes. It's going to be like 2026 before we get Kingdom Hearts 4. Like,
it's going to be like, so what was it? What was Sora called? Oh, Power of the Awakening. So it's going to be like Kingdom Hearts Power of the Awakening. And then that's going to be like on the new Switch or some shit like that. Like, they're going to have it in obscure places.
Jesus, no, they're milking this fan base at this point. Like, I mean, they've always been doing it. Let's be honest. Let's really break it down. Go down to brass tacks on this. They've always been milking
because we were part of that fan base. We were part of the first phase.
They milked me dry. Yeah, they milked me dry. Like, I've been on these side games, most of them from the get go. But dude, it's like at this point, I'm like, I can't get around the fact that they've done this for years where they've doled out little tiny bits of story in a game that costs full price, like $40 or $60. And it's like they give you like 2 hours of story in that game. And you put all these side games together and then you maybe get enough story in there for one actual game, you know? And it's like, that's after like fucking 5 of them, you know? And they're going to do it again. And it's like, how much story is really going to be in this game? Like 3 hours of actual Kingdom Hearts story? It's like,
I'll just wait for
that's
it on YouTube.
Not justifiable for $60.
Yeah, I just wait for it on YouTube.
I'm probably with you. I'm probably going to do the same thing. Like, it's just
because it's even weird too, right? Because it's called Memory of Melodies and like MOM, Master of Masters. Yeah. So they're gonna do that shit.
They're doing this. They're doing that weird shit. They're doing that weird shit. Nomura can't help himself. He is the worst.
And I cannot wait for Final Fantasy 7 too. I can't wait for those Final Fantasy fans to experience this shit because they're gonna be fucking pissed. And
how much, dude? Did you think there's gonna be a side game before we get to Final Fantasy? Part 2.
And they're gonna be fucking pissed. It's gonna be like a little mobile game or some shit. It's gonna have key story beats, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck? Final Fantasy 7 was a complete game." And it's like, "Nope, not with fucking Nomura." And this bitch is not like he gonna make 5 side games.
Y'all asked for a remake. This is how Nomura's gonna do it. He's gonna break it into 15 different games. Like, that's what he's gonna do. But
that's why Square keeps him around, because he knows how to.
Oh, he knows.
He knows how to string you along.
He's a genius. He's a geniess, straight up. The man, I don't give him enough credit. I feel like we don't. The man's a genius. He's got gamers wrapped around his finger. It's crazy how good this guy is at stringing along nothing. Like he could sell us a turd wrapped in a Kingdom Hearts wrapping paper, and we would be so happy to get that. You know, if it had like a thing in the middle of it that was like a key lore point for the next Kingdom Hearts game, we'd all buy it. We'd all fucking buy it.
Well, like, I mean, I have to drag on, but like he does this thing where he lets the fan base fester, right? And then, like, he doesn't confirm anything. Like, even with the entire first fucking phase of Kingdom Hearts, like, 1 through 3 and all the side games, there's another theory Like, that may be lore that's like, oh, all of this was just a digital world, and none of this shit actually fucking happened. The darkness is actually the real world. And it's like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, none of this shit's
the
real?
was always the real world.
You say what?
I thought the darkness was always the real world.
Tiara, if you got that from the first game, you deserve a fucking Einstein award, because I didn't get that shit. I didn't think the darkness was the real world.
I'm just.
So
it's just Gamora's world, and we're just living in it.
Apparently, like, that's stupid. Apparently, we're stupid, man. Justin, because Tiara got she's played. How many?
I mean, Tiara, how many have you played?
I've never beat a Kingdom Hearts game.
Oh my god, you got it.
I played some of one when I was a child, and it came out on PS2 or whatever the PlayStation, and it came out. I'm pretty sure it was PS2.
Yeah, it was PS2. We're
stupid. It's time for us to walk away. We'll just let Tiara do the whole show. She's got it. We're idiots.
Yeah, we're stupid. Holy shit. That's the theory that's going around now, that everything was just a game, and the real world, like when you encounter the various Wrexham dude, like it's another version of said game, and it's gonna be his game, and people think like Kingdom Hearts is gonna break off into another fucking spin-off series, and it's gonna be a spin-off series of his games, and it's all gonna connect to one point to where like it's all just a fucking game. And like the real world where Sora's at now, Shibuya Terminal, like that's the real world. Like that's the darkness.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm not gonna do this anymore with Kingdom Hearts. They won. You won. You got me, Nomura. You got me.
Yeah. I mean, I did this with like Chain of Memory. I can't play bad games. You know, I'm not playing games that aren't fun for Kingdom Hearts story. Like I'm not doing it anymore. I can't force myself into that. You know,
I'm so glad you didn't see that tweet, because somebody said, "Wow, time to play the best Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories," and I'm like, what? And they was like, yeah, and Kingdom Hearts 2 is the worst Kingdom Hearts ever. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan anymore, because apparently this is like
common
knowledge that Kingdom Hearts 2 is objectively the worst Kingdom Hearts game ever. It's the worst one. And I'm just like, okay, cool.
You guys can have it. You know what? I'm going to sit over here in my little corner and play like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 every few years, and I'm just gonna fade away into obscurity, you know, the way. Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't that sad?
It is. Hey man, things change, you know. Pokemon never changes, actually.
But Pokemon's still fucking good at some point. Like, we still get it, right? Like, there is no underlying story with Pokemon. There's just Pokemon, and Nintendo. Yeah,
there's a point where being meta is too much. Like that's like I think Kingdom Hearts jumped that shark a long fucking time ago, but this is like, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous to me, honestly. Fucking rhythm game. Why is everybody so excited about this? I mean, you know what? I'm happy for you guys. I guess I'm happy. For you guys.
I'm happy.
You're getting what you want, but let's just
be happy.
Can I get what I want though at some point?
No, like, man, we just gotta be happy for him, man.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is shit. It was so disappointing.
Nope, it was the best one according to everybody, bro.
I'm trying to figure out who you talk about when you said y'all, because I was going to say, I thought I just said that I was not.
No, I'm not talking about y'all. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like the Kingdom Hearts fan base.
The royal you, yeah, the royal you, like this group of people out in the ether. That is labeled the Kingdom Hearts fan base.
Yeah, because for some reason my Twitter algorithm keeps like sending me Kingdom Hearts shit. So
even though he's muted like half the words.
Yeah, and like I keep seeing blurbs of like, you know, the Kingdom Hearts fan base and what they think, and a lot of the takes they have are just like completely opposite of mine. I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't be a part of this fan base. Like, I love the games, but I'm like,
yeah.
If they were to listen to our podcast, Tiara, they listen to the 4th episode or the 5th episode.
We get canceled. We'll get
canceled because
we get canceled.
The game,
would we?
Yes, because the game that the Kingdom Hearts fan base, they're extremely toxic. They're like almost on the K-pop level toxicity.
Yeah. I can get behind that.
And if they listen to because they love Kingdom Hearts 3, and if they listen to our podcast we did a whole spoiler cast on Kingdom Hearts 3.
3 hours, longest episode we've ever done.
And yeah, we never did that shit ever again. But yeah, we did that shit, and we got all of it out, and we never talked about Kingdom Hearts after that. Like, that was the episode that solidified that we are done with Kingdom Hearts. And I was done with it. I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this series.
No, and that podcast is our testament to the release date that game came out in. I don't give a shit what revisionist history
that is
you motherfuckers want to come up with to justify that this is a good game. I don't care. That game at release was unfucking acceptable. Like, unacceptable. And I don't care. So I'm not supporting this. I don't give a shit. I see all these little characters on the key art here. You got Terra, Aqua, Ventus, fucking Naminé, all these random motherfuckers. You got Shion, who's whatever. She's alive again. Great. Happy for her, you know? Kyrie's in the middle, sitting on the throne. Fuck it.
Tiara, I can compare it to this. This was like the video games Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones came out.
With Disney characters.
With Disney characters. Like, shit was going down. And now it's just like it doesn't fucking matter anymore. Like,
yeah, it's like Game of Thrones season 8.
Like, people just came back to life, and you're like, I thought you were dead, and they're
2019 sucked. 2019 was a bad year, man.
They're like, haha, plot armor. Turns out I'm not dead.
Exactly. And you're like, how are you not dead? And it's like, ass
pulls out of nowhere. Characters we haven't seen in like 4 games just show up and save everybody. I don't know where. There's time travel nonsense in there. They have a mobile game integration into the fucking game. Like, don't get me started. Don't get me started. I don't want to talk about Kingdom Hearts anymore. I'm done. I'm exiling myself out of the fandom.
I can hear the sadness in your fucking voice. You're like, I'm done.
I'm going into a self-exile, everybody. It's man, every time I talk about it. I know you and Dennis and Montrell want me to play Remind. I know you guys want me to.
I want you to play it, but I
just think about the pain.
Yeah, I think about the realization that you're not going to play it, and that's totally acceptable because it took me a while. I got it. Only reason I got it is because I had a gift card from Christmas, and I was like, oh, well, I can buy it. You know, I can get this. It's not my money technically, so whatever. But I wouldn't spend money on it. Like, there are people who spend $40 on that, and I'm like, I don't know, or was it $39.99 or $29.99?
It was $29.99.
So there were people who spent $30 on that, and I was like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't.
Yeah. Well, I don't own the game anymore either, so I need to buy the game too. And it's just I'm not giving them the money. I'm not doing it. I'm not giving them more money for that game.
Yeah, you sold it. It's already done. Don't even go back to it.
So in 4 years when the game is like $5 or something on sale with the DLC, then maybe I'll buy it and then maybe I'll play it at that.
No, man, they're gonna release another story so far.
Oh, they already did that. Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's gonna have chain of memories.
No, you remember what they did? They released a literal package called The Story So Far with everything, including Kingdom Hearts 3, in it for $60.
Really? I didn't know that.
It came out right before Remind was gonna drop, and it didn't include Remind in it. So they're gonna have another collection, I'm sure, in the future that has everything with Remind, and it's going to cost $60.
And it's going to have upscale graphics for 4K for the consoles, man.
And then they'll port this Melody of Memory game at some point, and then they'll add that, and then they'll charge $60 for that, and all you motherfuckers will buy it. So have fun.
It's the Madden of RPGs.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. All right.
Speaking of
that's
Madden,
all we got.
Speaking of sports games, I am looking forward to that PGA Tour game. Oh, already came out, actually. I might buy that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
and my favorite game, Jump Force Deluxe is coming. It just came out 2 days ago.
Isn't it on mobile or something now, or was it Switch?
Fucking know.
No, it's on Switch. It's on Switch, isn't it?
It's a deluxe edition, and I can't, for the fucking love of God, understand why people buy this shit, and it's so really fucking well. And it's just fucking a terrible version of Ninja Storm. It's literally that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But only game I am looking forward to that I did want to mention. It's Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, the remaster or the remake of 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's coming out on the 4th. And next week, Kingdoms of Amalur, which I encourage everybody to listen to this podcast. If you like RPGs, if you like The Witcher, if you like fucking, I'm trying to think of another action game, Dragon Age, or anything like that. Buy Kingdoms of Amalur. It's not, the story is not as good as The Witcher, but it still is a really good story. But the combat is fucking phenomenal. The build you can do is fucking good. Like, it's really fucking good. You do hella combos, like almost Devil May Cry-ish type combos, or you can go like really stealthy, or you can go super tanky, or you can go like a mage build. Like, it's like the combat I can compare it to is like a better version of Fable, if you guys ever played Fable. So it is that
is a good comparison.
Yeah, it's a very defined version of Fable, and I think everyone should give it a try. I hope everyone buys this remastered, and it's coming out with extra like epilogue or something DLC. Like that. Yeah.
Well, there was DLC for the game back in the day, and they're making new DLC for it that's coming out next year.
Yep.
So, Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning is the full name of that game. But all right, well, that's all we got for news. Is there any other bullshit you guys want to talk about? Tiara, you got anything you want to throw in here at the end?
Nope. I'm all good.
Montrell?
No, I'm good.
You good? You good? Okay. All right, let's call it then. We got it. That was a good meaty episode. We had some good discussions there. So, if you like this episode, please like the episode, review the show, and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please share it with your friends. We really would appreciate that support. If you'd like to talk to any of us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That's the number 4, not the word. Tiara is at Victorian Jedi. I am at ThunderNut01. The show is at The Player's Take. If you'd like to send us questions, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. And next week, we will be talking about Ubisoft Forward, more than likely, and whatever else happens. So look forward to that. We hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we will see you on the next one. All right, bye.